Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Happy Tuesday, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Hope you're having a great time and a great day. I know I am. Going back and watching the Packers' first two games, essentially on repeat, and then kind of juxtaposing that with the images of the Bears and the Vikings this past weekend. Oh, baby, it's a beautiful place to live. Great headspace to be in. Hope you're in great headspace wherever you are. Man, the Packers 2-0, ready to take on the Cleveland Browns this Sunday. First injury report not available until tomorrow, though, as we discussed yesterday, probably a decent chance that Zach Tom and Aaron Banks are unable to go, which would probably put Anthony Belton in line to make a second start in a row. A kid who played 51 snaps there against the Commanders last Thursday night, for the most part, held his own. I think most people undoubtedly remember the holding call, but on balance, down in and down out. As I just talked about on the radio a little bit ago with Billy, the greatest testament you can give, the kid in his performance right out of the gate, being thrown into the fire, which he certainly was, is the fact that they didn't have to materially change their offense. They didn't have to account for the fact that, oh no, we've got a rookie tackle over there. We better adjust everything we're doing around that. Certainly, he was given help at times, chips from a back, tight ends coming in to help. That is normal flow for the LaFleur offense. It wasn't specifically, oh no, look out, there's a rookie in there. We've got to change everything. And again, that's a testament to the young man, the work he has done to get put into a position where the coaching staff feels comfortable putting him out there for 51 snaps. Yes, he did rotate a bit, but for the most part, especially as the game went on, they rolled with the rookie. And I know pregame, I was pretty kind of surprised that they were going that route. I thought for sure they had traded for Kennard from the Eagles. He had come in off the bench against the Lions when Tom went down. That seemed to make all the sense in the world to me. But the Packers, they have a premium pick here, a kid who most likely will be counted on next year. We've talked about this quite a bit. There's no doubt that, Jordan Morgan and Anthony Belton will most likely battle for the left tackle spot next season when Rasheed Walker is most likely allowed to leave. And I know we're projecting a long ways away here, but the Packers want to make sure that this kid gets every opportunity to develop. And the best way to do that is by playing. Now, you talk about being thrown into the fire. National game. Washington got after the Giants just the week before. Certainly took his lumps at time. But that is nothing compared to what he is walking into on Sunday in Cleveland. On the road, making his first road start in the NFL is tough enough. But you have to think that Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns coaching staff have him circled on each and every play as their first point of attack. Now, again, the Packers will give him help. There will be plenty of design around trying to mitigate Myles Garrett's effect on the game. We saw that in week 1 against Aiden Hutchinson. It was not just a one-man show. There was a whole group effort to try and limit his ability to wreck the football game. But, man, Myles Garrett is a different beast. And Anthony Belton, welcome to the NFL. Your second start features you going up against arguably the best defensive player in the league. So don't envy the task for the young man, but excited for the opportunity to get him out there in a road start, protecting Jordan Love and doing work in the ground game. And talk about the pass protection. Obviously, that's the first and foremost thing that you look at with any young lineman. But, man, I'll tell you what, he did some work in the run game. And for a crew that has not been exemplary out of the gate when it comes to the running game, he is very rarely the problem. Yeah, he moves humans. He is a big man, and he has a bit of a nasty streak there, and you absolutely love that. So anxious and excited to see him get start number 2 and get to work there on the road in a hostile environment against the best that the league has to offer. Exciting times for the young man. Hope he comes through with shining colors. No question about it. Hello, everybody in the comment section. So good to see you all. Hope you're all doing well. Before we get going, got to give a shout out to our friends over at ThedaCare. ThedaCare is a proud sponsor of Cheesehead TV. Every great team needs a solid foundation, and that starts with health. ThedaCare is proud to support their local athletes and families with care that goes the distance. Check out thetacare.org for more. Do it, people. The other thing you can do is hang out and give me some questions here, starting with Ricardo. What's going on, man? Thanks for the super chat. Bears still suck. Nothing else matters. I think a few things matter, but yes, it is important to note at all times that the Bears still suck. No question about that. Andre, thanks for checking out the stream, man. Will Elton be signaled by the guard for the snap or look back like Myers last year? Seems like Myers got beat a lot. Maybe Elton is better, but do you see Matt LaFleur changing things up? Interesting question, man. And, sometimes that's just a rhythm thing. It doesn't matter who is doing it. And it's something that, I know we've seen throughout the NFL, both the center and the guard do it. I think more likely than not, I would suspect they continue on with their regular operation, but we'll see. We'll see if they switch it. Maybe Jordan Morgan and or Sean Ryan get that honor. I know last night in both the primetime games on Monday night, it was the guard on the road guards doing it. But there's little doubt that they probably have a lot more confidence in Elton Jenkins than they did in Josh Myers, and Josh was the one doing it. So we'll see. We'll see how it transpires. But again, I would suspect they would keep the operation that they've had essentially since LaFleur hired Stenovich. Brandy put Kraft back there for pass pro on occasion. I think they will. I think you'll see all the tight ends involved. I think you'll see use of formation, use of personnel, all sorts of different ways to try and limit Myles Garrett's ability. And, the other people, of course, it's not a one-man team, but he is obviously the headline and the biggest concern. He will get plenty of attention, no doubt about it. Joe, what's up, man? Will 2 tight end sets be the base offense this week? In addition to containing Garrett, might help unleash Josh Jacobs. I think they've been utilizing tight ends a lot more already. In this past 2 weeks, they've certainly against the Commanders, you've seen a lot more multi-tight ends formations and personnel groups. The big, not a touchdown, but the big 57-yarder to Tucker Kraft was out of a 3 tight end formation. So I don't think it's necessarily more tight ends equals running the ball. I do like the idea of going old school. They call it ace formation, where you have a tight end on either side of the line to try and widen out those ends, and maybe they have to work from a wider stance. Maybe you try to utilize that then to run in the A gap, so it takes them longer to get to your ball carrier, etc. Obviously, that's very rudimentary, but I think that's a flavor you might see, but it's never as easy as just run more 2 tight end sets. The defense becomes aware of the fact that that's what you're doing, and they adjust very, very quickly in this day and age. But I do think personnel usage and trying to keep Cleveland off balance with it is going to be a big key for this game. Absolutely true. Oh, Dusty, that's very kind of you, man. Packers Daily and Carry the G Radio makes Tuesdays one of the best days of the week. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. Pack Daddy, how are you, man? Thanks for super chat. Any merit to keeping Micah's snap count where it's at for the long term? Keep him fresh. I would doubt long term if you're talking like once he's good to go, right as rain, you're still going to only run him out there for 30 snaps a game. I'd be very surprised. He's a football player who wants to play first and foremost. I don't think he signed up to be a situational guy. He wants to be on the field. That said, I also think he can affect the game. The more he plays, the more he's on the field, the more chance he has of blowing things up and completely wrecking whatever the offense's plans are. I understand it's exciting. We've seen him in limited usage, and he has already been highly effective. But, man, you didn't give up what you gave up. You're not paying him what you're paying him for him to only be a rotational guy. I understand it's going to continue to probably be somewhat limited here. I've talked about this prior to the bye week in particular, as he ramps up, a guy who did not have any training camp whatsoever prior to being traded to Green Bay. So I do think they'll continue to have him on a bit of a pitch count, so to speak. But when he's right and ready to go and the medical people are happy and they're good to go, he will be out there as much as possible. Andre, of course, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you checking out the stream, man. Simitovich, how are you? Thanks for super chat. Thoughts on conflict of interest with Brady? I love the NFL putting out a statement today that responded to none of the actual concerns that people have. There he is in the booth last night as an owner in the coaching booth, listening to the calls, etc. And we all know he's in these production meetings for Fox as their number one guy. I mean, upcoming game is against the Bears, and then lo and behold, Raiders play the Bears in a couple. It's patently absurd. It is blindingly obvious that it's a conflict of interest, but the NFL is just giving Brady carte blanche to do whatever the hell he wants. Look, I understand he's a huge star. I understand he's the perceived GOAT, although that is untrue. We all know that's Bart Starr, but I get it from a marketing standpoint. They want him involved in every single aspect that they possibly can because people are interested in Tom Brady. But the fact that he displaced Greg Olsen already is annoying enough. But the fact, and the add on to the idea that he's in these production meetings with coaches asking and finding out things about their offense and about their plans for a certain team and how they might approach certain coverages, etc. You can then turn around and talk to Chip Kelly that next week. It's patently absurd. And everybody knows it. Like the NFL is aware, but they're never going to address it publicly. Yeah, those are my thoughts on the conflict of interest with Brady. We all know it's ridiculous. Jesse, thank you for the super chat. Nags, will you be there 11-2 for the Panthers game? I talked my wife into a baby moon before our little guy gets here in January. Baby gear incoming. Jesse, I will not be there for the Panthers game, but have a phenomenal time, and it's a very good idea to get out and about before little one comes. Trust me on that. You're going to have a great time. Just have a ball, man. Sorry I won't be there. There will be, most likely, I will make it official later this week, but there is going to be another Cheesehead TV, a public Cheesehead TV event here coming up in about a month or so. Be on the lookout. It'll be, again, night before the game, etc. There in Green Bay. It's going to be a lot of fun. So be on the lookout for that info. Dustin, how are you, man? We going to the bowl, bruh. Oh, that's good. That's good. We going to the bowl, bruh, because obviously if you are not chronically online, like most of us here are, there is a clip of Jaden Reed coming out of his surgery where he's clearly still under the influence of some of the anesthesia / drugs that he's on. And I think they're asking him, it sounds like a family member asking him to say hello to people or like send people thanks for their well wishes and prayers. And the first thing he says is, Packers going to the bowl, bruh. God bless you, Jaden. Speedy recovery, man. What else we got? New York Cheesehead. I'm not interested at all in Tom Brady. Well, of course you're not. You're smart and elevated and have varying interests that have little or nothing to do with Tom Brady and football in the NFL. But you're not most people. A lot of folks do. That's just the unfortunate reality. I love it. Pack Daddy, you're not wrong. Brady deflates balls, disposes of phones, takes notes from announcer's booth. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I kid. Steven wanted to ask this question so much he asked it twice. Savage? No. No, the Packers moved on from Darnell Savage for a reason. And yes, I did see that he was released by the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier today. The Packers spent money and draft picks to finally fix their safety room. They're not bringing Darnell Savage back into the mix. Rick Harris, Greg Olsen is better than Brady. Yes. Yes, he is. And actually, it's not even close. I mean, it is not even close. Let me see. Larry, what's going on, man? Thanks for checking out the stream on Facebook. Musgrave called a backup Kraft. Does Musgrave ever get back to his draft expectations of being a number one tight end? What's his ceiling? It's going to be tough for him to get those opportunities now that Kraft has become what he's become. I do think he's an excellent change of pace / additional weapon in the offense. You saw him, with a couple big catches there against the Commanders. But I would be very surprised if he ever overtook Tucker Kraft as their de facto number one tight end, mostly because Kraft is more complete. He's able to do more. You can do more with him as far as trying to tease the defensive expectation with his lining up in line and then using him downfield, as we saw against the Commanders. Musgrave, I think, could be a complete tight end. He still needs some polish and working in the run game when it comes to the blocking aspects of the game, both in the run game and in pass protection. But that's not to say that he can't get there. He has missed a ton of time early on here in his NFL career. So I don't think he's close to a finished product yet. But he's certainly not on the level that Tucker is at this point. Now, again, that doesn't mean he can't get there. He needs time on task, i.e. playing time. And hopefully, knock on wood, for the first time in a long time, he's going to have a long stretch of games where he's available and they can utilize him. And then he gets those reps, those live reps, which are just absolutely irreplaceable when it comes to the blocking aspect, when it comes to the physicality of the game. And I'm not saying like you can't count him in that regard. He's certainly put enough on tape at this point where he's able to do it. He's just got to do it consistently, down in and down out when called upon. And I think he'll get there. I really do. What else we got here, folks? We thank Savage for his service. Yes, we do. Rick Ward, thanks for the super chat. Aaron Jones on IR. Yeah, it's tough, man. I saw that on Sunday night when he was on the sideline, and they said he had a hamstring injury. Never like that. Never a good sign. And not surprised to see him placed on IR. Hopefully, for his sake, it's 4 weeks and he's back. That would be, again, that's the hope for him, the player, the person who I still adore, obviously not rooting for the Vikings. Ed, thanks for the super chat, man. It's the timbre in Brady's voice. Irritating, really irritating. But that's why there is a mute button. Never muted Olsen. I just think it comes natural to Greg Olsen in a way it doesn't for Brady. And that's not to say Brady doesn't work hard at it, because I think he does work very hard at it. But yeah, Olsen's just a much better communicator. And I do think Olsen's got a better overall understanding of kind of the perspective of all three phases of the game a little bit more than Tom does. And I know it sounds crazy when you're talking about, the GOAT or this multiple Super Bowl winning champion quarterback. But I think because of Greg's experience on offense and playing the tight end position where you have to deal with all the aspects of the game, blocking technique, working the run game and the pass game, along with just his overall views of like when to go for two and things like that. We still have Brady out here wondering why guys are going for two when that's been the norm for multiple years. You know what I mean? Like, I just think Olsen's a better communicator and it's a better handle on the modern game. Now, some of that is probably because he stopped playing before Tom did, and Tom's catching up to some of it. But yeah, Olsen's just obviously better. Steve Tucker Kraft mac and cheese. What is his agent even doing? Didn't they connect finally? I don't know, but yeah, it does seem like a no-brainer. Jeezy baby, yes, JJ Watt is a great communicator as well. Could not agree more. He's only been in the booth for 2 games now. He did Steelers Jets in week 1, and then I think he had the Titans game here in week 2. Outstanding, a total natural. You talk about hitting the ground running. JJ Watt should be threatening Tony Romo anytime now, as far as being the number 1 color guy in CBS. He is that good out of the gate. Very, very good. Pack Daddy. Hated Olsen on the Bears. Love him in the booth. Kind of like John McEnroe for me. That's a good pull. I like that. Carrie, what's up? Nags, does Golden or Kraft make the big catch this week? Yes. I think Golden's going to get some opportunities this week that probably haven't been there yet through the first 2 games. Obviously, Reed going out gives everybody a little bit more oxygen, but I do think Matt will most likely, and this is just a guess, but most likely try to dial a few things up for his rookie as the number 1 target and or the primary read, right? You've seen a lot of, probably if you're on the internet and looking at the coaches film stuff and the all 22, there's a lot of shots of him being open. Like, he's getting open, but I'm not going to say most, but a lot of the time he's on the back end of the play, or he's not the initial read, and Love's able to, fire off his, initial read is open and he goes there, and doesn't mean that Golden's not getting open. He just isn't, gotten to in the progression. I think Golden's going to get more one opportunities this week, would be my guess. And I do think, he's going to have a big play, but I also think Tucker Kraft's going to have a big play. I think the whole offense is going to have a big play. And that's not to say that the Browns are pushovers. They obviously are not on defense. I think that offense is going to be feasted upon by the Packers defense, and that's going to give the offense more opportunities to put up points and make plays. That would be my guess. Stralev. This is easy, by the way. It's the Browns. What's our biggest worry, Nags? Myles Garrett. It's not even a question or a close second. Look, there's a path to victory in every NFL game for every team, right? And the path to victory for the Browns is obviously Myles Garrett wrecking shop, but also creating turnovers and giving their offense short fields and maybe a punt return for a touchdown or a kickoff return for a touchdown, put points on the board, etc. Keep them in the game, let alone winning it. They have to create lots of mistakes from the Packers, both on special teams and offense, to have a chance in this game. And Myles Garrett is their best shot of doing that. So he is a number one attention on every single down. Porkmaster, what's up, man? Golden looked frustrated at times. I think he's going to pop off soon in a good way. I mean, yeah, you're going to be frustrated. Rookie year, you're trying to kind of announce your presence with authority, right? And he's doing good work. It's always going to be frustrating when you're not getting the ball or when you are targeted, the ball is just out of reach, things like that. It's natural frustration. I didn't think he was ever showing up love or like being frustrated at the game / team. I just think most of that's pretty natural to want to be doing your best and you're not getting an opportunity with the ball in your hand. It's all good. Carter, what's up? Nags, why don't our guys just fair catch every punt? Man, what's funny is, did you notice Golden tried to fair catch that first punt and he misjudged it and it took him back? I don't know, man. It's hard to say with any regularity, just fair catch every single thing, because then you're completely cutting off the ability to move the ball forward and get yourself in more advantageous field position. You're really just shutting yourself down from an aspect of the game that allows you to get into position to score points. Why make it tougher on yourself? Obviously you don't want to give up yardage. You don't want to give up possession. But it is an aspect of the game. They call it a third of the game, but that's not true, as we all know. But it is an important aspect of the game. And look, these guys are back there doing the job. Keyshawn Nixon's done it 100 times. He got a few opportunities last week. I suspect without Jaden Reed, we'll probably see Golden back there once or twice again. And don't forget, McCole Hardman's still on the practice squad. He could get called up, and maybe he's thrown into that position. A guy who's got a ton of experience at the job. Settling for, just fair catch it every time or just let it bounce every time. Really not helping yourself. Will Raji be available? I hope so. Cheeto, what's up, man? The Bears are in a rebuild year. Well, that's a evergreen super chat. Thanks, Cheeto. I mean, when isn't he? Kind of almost always is. All right, buddy, I got to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Patreon members, Carry the G Club members, do not forget happy hour at the top of the hour. The information is on your respective pages. Everyone else, please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack, go.